Stay tuned and let's take a look at this Marvel Legends Venompool wave, Carnage. Pow and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. Today we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends Venompool wave, Carnage, or absolute carnage, as that is what this guy is all about. And it could be the absolute carnage in our Marvel Legends collection, as this guy seems like a much needed or much requested upgrade to a previous figure, as it seems like it's the same figure, but it's actually got a lot more sculpted detail, which is going to give it a lot more depth on the display. So as you can see in the box, you see Carnage with two heads. I'll get into that in a minute. The third head is of course the head for Venompool, but again, really like this venomized packaging. On the side, we're getting a picture of that absolute Carnage. On the back, we're getting a pro image, a write-up that reads, "Twisted criminal Cletus Kasady sows chaos in the streets as the bloodthirsty villain Carnage." And then as always, you get a list of all the figures in this wave you need to complete the Venompool Build-A-Figure. Today we're reviewing Carnage, and only 5 Build-A-Figures in this wave, so this is actually the last piece I need to build Venompool. So hopefully that will be built very soon here on the channel, but today is about Carnage. Let's get him open. So here we have Carnage and everything out of the box. So of course he comes with his own interchangeable head, I'll show you in a second, but he also has the massive Build-A-Figure head for the Venompool. So you know what to do, subscribe to the channel and come back, as I will be rebuilding and reviewing Venompool very, very soon. Today is about absolute carnage, and it may be the absolute carnage in our collection. I've already said that once, but I'll say it again, because out of the box this guy is even more impressive than I originally thought. Just the feel and the sculpted texture of this guy is a vast improvement to the previous Carnage. And yeah, we even get the 2 looks as well, which I'll explain as we take a closer look. So let's do that right now. So taking a closer look, it is clearly Carnage, but with one character design difference, and that is of course this spiral on his forehead, and that is to represent absolute carnage, this like god carnage, this sort of dark carnage that sort of has control of anyone who's ever held a symbiote or been a host of a symbiote. And yeah, so this represents Cletus Kasady as sort of absolute carnage, the god carnage. But what I like as well about this figure is we do get the interchangeable head, which I'll show you in a sec. But let's just take a look at this guy first and foremost. So this head is your standard head for a Carnage figure, sort of looks wise, with the big jaw and the mouth, those white eyes, but this time you've got all this sculpted detail on the back, so all this sort of veins, all this sort of symbioteness is all sculpted in there, which is very nice. It's like risen and gives a bit of depth to the character design. So I like that a lot, and that is the same with the rest of the figure. But let's swap on the standard Carnage head as we have a look at the rest. But for this is absolute Carnage. So this is the head sculpt I prefer, the more traditional Carnage head. And again, this is an upgrade as well to the previous one, as this time, again, all the sort of tentacles on here are all sculpted on there. All those veins, all those black veins are actually sculpted onto the head sculpt. So probably not coming off very well on camera, but again, it is risen, does give a bit of depth. Liking it a lot. And again, that is the same with the rest of the figure. So you see this body, this is not your standard Bucky Cat body. This is some newly sculpted body here with these butterfly joints as well. And all the sculpted sort of risen sort of veins, tentacles, whatever you want to call them, are on all of the joints, like on the butterfly joints, on the shoulders, on the abs, like with the crunch it goes through. So this is very nicely done, a massive upgrade to any previous Carnage figure we've had. So let me zoom out a little bit and show you. So he does have butterfly joints, and they work all right. They work much better than any of the previous Carnages we've had so far. You can get those hands all the way in, all crossed up, so that definitely works. And same going backwards as well. They go much further back, as you can see, and I'll show you that back in a minute. But he has the waist swivel, the ab crunch, and again, that crunch is really good. Look at that back and forth. And again, the design is in the crunch. Again, the legs go out really far, the double jointed knees, and again, all this sculpt work is all down to the toes, even the little spiky toes. So yeah, this is a very, very nice Carnage figure. So let me show you the back, as this has like a new piece. So this is a new piece that actually plugs onto the back. You can take that off if you wanted to just have a sort of more plain looking Carnage like that. But I quite like the added attachment. But you can see, even without it, you can see the peg hole, but it's sort of hidden amongst all those veins. So it's not like they skimped with any of the detail underneath this. So let's plug that back on and sort of see it sort of blends in there, the back there. Just risen a little bit, but it adds these tentacles and it sort of adds to the silhouette of Carnage. Now these are just simply red with a few spikes on there and stuff. So again, I always imagine my Carnage with sort of tentacles and stuff sticking off him, so I actually like that effect. And once you've got him posed up from the front, you can't see the sort of bulge that sort of backpack gives him, I guess. But there's more tentacles here on the forearms, and then again down here on the shins. So yeah, this is very, very nice. It's so hard to not get this guy in a nice creepy pose. Yeah, just a lot nicer to the previous one. So let's bring in the previous one for a quick comparison. So here we have our Carnage comparison, and this figure has been released a couple of times. This one is from the Monster Venom Build-A-Figure wave, and as you can see, they are both clearly the character of Carnage without a doubt, but this one is just all smooth. So you can see all these wiry tentacle pieces coming off are a lot more gangly than they are in this one. These ones are a little thicker and more spirally, I guess. I don't know how to explain it, but this guy is a lot more smoother in person. I don't know if you can sort of see it sort of more glossy as well, how the light shines off it, as all the paint, all the black on here is just painted over the normal body, where here the black is all sculpted, risen veins, and yeah, it just looks a lot nicer. Like again, here on the hands are very nice, but they're just smooth red, no black on there, no sculpted detail, where here you've actually got the veins, the actual red veins on the red, which looks a lot nicer. Look at that. You can see it. Creepy in a good way compared to the other one, which is like red, but no veins or anything like that. But they are similar sculpts. But yeah, just massive improvement. Even the head sculpts seem similar, but they're different. The Bucky Cat one's definitely a little bit taller, but again, no one poses their Carnage up straight. You've got him in a creepy sort of gangly sort of pose, creeping up on Spider-Man, or with your symbiotes on the shelf, or whatever you do. So once you do that, it works. And if you wanted to use the tentacle pieces from the back of this guy, because again, these just unplug. Let me do that. Pull them out there. You can plug them on. If you prefer this sort of more gangly look, they plug in to the back piece, and now you've just got more of a gangly look on this guy. So again, you can mix and match. Again, if you wanted to use this mover head sculpt on this guy, you can do that as well. I don't know why you would, because the other head sculpt's better, but maybe you prefer this bigger head. Maybe. Again, up to you. You can kit bash to your content. But I'm curious to see if Cletus Kasady head fits on here. And yes, it does, but it does sit a little bit high on the neck. But again, once you've got him posed up, you probably ain't going to notice. But yeah, it is a little bit of risen on the neck, but it does pop onto the peg, no problem at all. And again, while he's here, I wanted to show you some of the effect pieces that came in the Monster Venom wave. So will they fit on this figure? The answer is yes, all the pegs are the same. So obviously, this sort of axe piece is smooth, there's no black detail. But again, if you wanted to mix up the display and get it on there, you can do that. So again, you have options. And then the first comparison, of course, had to be Spider-Man and Venom. And again, this new Carnage sits very nicely amongst these iconic characters. I told you I'd bring back out the Power Rangers symbiote crew. So here we have Lasher, Phage and Scream with Carnage. And again, these guys are definitely going to pop amongst your Spider-Man Rogues gallery on the shelf. They're just so colourful. How could they not? But yeah, really liking these. And then apart from Phage, of course, here we have Carnage compared to the other figures I've already reviewed in this wave, with Venom, Miles and Gwen, and of course, 90s Morbius. So, final thoughts, this absolute Carnage is absolutely an upgrade in the display. So for me personally, I'm going to put the classic looking Carnage head on there and upgrade my Carnage in my collection, and maybe use the Cletus Kasady head on the previous body somewhere else, because I haven't actually read the Absolute Carnage storyline. So undoubtedly this is a very nice head sculpt and a very nice figure, but for me, I don't have no attachment to that particular character design yet with the spiral on the head, so I probably won't use that yet. But again, you let me know in the comments below, have you read Absolute Carnage storyline? Should I be reading it? But either way, this figure is going to make both fans happy, because if you haven't read Absolute Carnage, then you've got yourself a nice Carnage upgrade, and if you have read that, then now you can add yourself this Dark God Carnage to the display regardless. You can have both in there. But yes, let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you want to see more videos, check out the videos tab, find the playlists, but most importantly, please, please, please hit that subscribe button. You're in a position to support the channel, you can do that on Patreon, links in the description below. Much appreciated. But until then, people, follow me on Twitter at DanWhoReviews, and as always, my name's Dan W, and I will, of course, see you on the next one.